All right, everyone, welcome back. And today I am going to be giving you another 5 tips for the military. And obviously, my experience is Marine Corps wise, so that is what I'm going to be bringing to the table. But I'm going to go and try and include as many of the military branches in these tips as possible. So let's jump into it. The first tip I'm going to give you guys is you need to be mentally ready to endure hardship. You will miss your family. You will miss your friends. You'll miss that girl down the street, and you'll even miss Dr. Pepper, like my rack mate did, like crazy. You wouldn't believe. And it's the little things that you're gonna miss. And for most of you, it'll be the first time you've gone without those things. And even in boot camp, you'll have to watch some of your friends degrade until they stop listening to the yelling and screaming, and they will leave. All right. You're gonna watch your friends in boot camp that you wouldn't even believe how close you get to these guys that you've never met before, and they're gonna leave. All right, they're gonna quit. You're gonna watch them, and it's gonna be a very dramatic thing. The drill instructors are gonna make a huge deal out of it, and you're gonna watch them get humiliated, and they're gonna leave. So you need to be prepared for that, right? The second tip I'm gonna give you guys, and God, I should have warned you at the start. Like, these are gonna be some pretty adult tips. Like, this isn't going to be what you normally hear from people. This is going to be my take on it, and these are things that I honestly wish that I had heard, even though they aren't motivational and stuff. These are things that I wish that I heard, and that's why I'm giving it to you. So, second tip, let's get into it. You need to be mentally prepared to deal with your failures. And in the military, failures mean much more important things. This means friendly fire. This means rappel ropes that snap. This means pushing people too hard and being pushed too hard yourself. Friendly fire, right? One of my buddies who I went to boot camp with, he was in my same unit when I got out, all right? So literally a couple months ago, I'm not sure if I've told you guys this, but he was hit by a friendly fire. He's all right. He was hit through the back, out the shoulder. I think I told you this, guys. But he was hit by friendly fire. And, like, how do you deal with that? How do you think the person that shot him from friendly fire feels? Maybe he didn't tell anybody. Maybe they're saying, someone in second squad did it, right? And that person, individually, think of it if it was yourself. Because this stuff happens. Friendly fire happens. And you have to think, what does the person who had friendly fire think to themselves? How is he going to view the rest of his life as shooting his buddy? Like, oh, all he did in the Marine Corps was deploy to Australia, and he shot his buddy, right? That's going to be in his mind forever. And you have to think about the person who was hit. My friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he was hit by friendly fire, right? How does he feel? He can't trust people anymore. These are his buddies, right? And, I mean, how does he feel? Does he feel more close to God now? Like, these are all things that you need to be mentally prepared for. Failures are going to happen. And I touched on this at the sort of last part of this question, was being pushed too hard yourself. You're going to be told to do things that are impossible, all right? Now, some things that you think are impossible are not impossible. You can run forever, basically. But if you put 100 pounds on your back and you try and run forever, not so much. Those are physical limitations. It's an exponential curve upwards where you cannot keep up without dying. People die during hikes all the time. Luckily, I have not seen that before, so I'm not trying to say, like, hey, you should, if you're getting past that point during running or something where you're like, man, this feels impossible, and then I don't want you to think, like, oh man, I'm gonna die, like, CivDiv told me, so I'm gonna stop. No, you need to push through that, but, like, there are gonna be times where you're pushed too hard yourself, and you need to be mentally prepared to deal with that failure. The third tip I'm going to give you guys is be prepared to deal with a severe lack of anything, all right? So me being a Marine, this is going to be sort of a Marine tip, all right? Marines are the best because America gives us nothing, but we are expected to do everything, and we don't let that down. There's no reason that the Marine Corps should even exist. The Army did D-Day, and the Marines are really just a glorified infantry-obsessed unit. We assault things, and we promise to fight till the bitter end, no matter the circumstances. So take, for instance, the Crucible. This is the last event before you become a Marine. It's a 2.5-day event. where you learn what it means to be a Marine in a combat scenario. And for Marines, this means you don't get much food. I'm talking 3 MREs for 3 days, which is not enough. You don't get much sleep, and you're expected to march 54 miles and still be able to perform when your ankles do not have skin attached to them anymore. So make sure you're ready to endure. You're going to be enduring a lot of things. This goes for anything in boot camp. They're going to make you endure. You're going to be doing push-ups, like elevated push-ups where your feet are on like 2 stacks of, like basically you're doing handstand push-ups. And you're going to do that until there's literally a pool of sweat beneath you. But you know what? It's not 100 pounds on your back. It's not impossible. You're going to be doing it, and you will complete it, and you will get done with it, and you need to be prepared to endure these things, especially as a Marine. All right, this is your job. The reason that you exist is because you endure, and nobody else does like you do. So the 4th tip: be prepared to learn what you're really there for, what you're really made of. Somewhere down the line, you will hit that physical limit, and I've talked about this for a bit. Just like running during track, there's a point where you cannot go faster. That is the reason there are first places and second places. It's not because one of them doesn't have the heart to do it. It's because one of them is physically stronger and he is able to go further. No matter how hard you try, you can't get under a 4-minute mile. Now, I don't know if that's completely true, but I mean, 4-minute mile is pretty much the standard elites. All right, so no matter if you're an Olympic athlete, there are physical limitations based on your muscle. The reason that Olympic athletes don't run a mile in a second is because there are limitations. And the reason that Olympic athletes, the track stars, tend to be taller is because the short people cannot, and this is impossibly, they cannot run faster than a tall person of equal stature. All right? Physical limitations. And when you reach that point, something else will have to kick in. It's indescribable, it's extremely painful, and you will have an epiphany. Like almost like a out-of-body experience where you're like, why am I here? You're going to be talking back and forth to yourself in your mind. You know when you do that, like especially during a hard thing where you're like, come on, just do it. You're going to be talking back and forth to yourself and asking, what is pushing me through this? How am I getting past this 100-foot wall in front of me? You will have to encounter this. You will encounter this. And you will have to answer it. You will have to hone it. If you want to succeed in the Marine Corps, you will have to find out what that thing is, and you will have to own it. Like, that'll be what you live your life by for the rest of your life. And, some people don't find what that is. And you will not be able to find out what that is that gets you through things until you actually go through those experiences. And you will not reach those experiences until you go to boot camp. Believe me. So be ready to encounter that epiphany and be ready to make a drastic change in your lifestyle for the better when you're in the Marines or just boot camp in general. Excuse me. And the last tip I'm gonna give you guys today is if you do find that plateau where it seems that you can't get through it. Whether that's swimming, running long distances for a lot of people, the obstacle course, rappelling, hiking, whatever it is, you need to be able to see through what you can control and what you can't control. If you physically can't make it through hikes because you couldn't keep up because you're short and skinny like I am, and you go completely numb because all the blood is rushing to your legs, and you fall to the ground and pass out, you need to be able to recognize the problem and deal with it, and whether it makes sense to continue down this. So, like, you need to know what's best for yourself. Maybe it's a plan that you need to start to fix it. So for me, one of the things I did to go and make myself better at hikes is I decided I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to hike every weekend on my own, even though I hike every weekday. I'm going to hike on my own. I'm going to do everything I can to fix this problem because I need to alter my life. I need to find out why I'm failing hikes. And I knew that it was because of muscle. I didn't have enough muscle and I was too short. So I decided I'm gonna do everything I can in my power. Every hour of the day is gonna be dedicated to making myself succeed in hikes. And I had some successes, but along the way, there were points where I could not do it. And that is, and you know what? That's just not. It's not acceptable in the Marines. So you're gonna need to be able to either find a plan, try and fix it, or have the humility to accept those odds and accept. And I mean, okay, this isn't going to be very motivational, but I've met my actual limitations before, and it was not about endurance. It was about how many steps my body can go with 100 pounds of weight on my back before I fall over and die. It took me the loss of my hearing in my left ear. It took me tinnitus for the rest of my life, a traumatic brain injury, and countless sleep problems to realize this wasn't the life for me. I was not meant to be an infantryman. The Marines will teach you to push through, but boot camp is pretty easy compared to what you're going to experience in your unit when it comes to infantry jobs, at least. So make sure you're looking ahead, guys, all right? Make sure you're looking ahead. Be prepared to make any plan, and be prepared to accept your failures, but don't accept too soon, all right? Get through boot camp. You can get through boot camp, I promise you. But when you reach an actual physical limitation, you need to have the humility to accept it, guys. It's gonna take a lot of talking to your family, friends, God. For me, it was God, counselors, your mentors in the military. You're gonna have to talk to these people, and hey, like these are some big boy issues that will happen to you in the military. You will have to deal with these things, and you know that's my channel is not for motivating you guys to go and get you through boot camp. And I'm not a recruiter, all right? That's what recruiters are for. They're supposed to motivate you and get you through. And you know what? There's a place for that. But I'm here to go and answer the big questions and to question the big questions. I'm not here for some pussy shit, all right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it ended sort of sour, but I mean, really, this is why I'm here, guys, and I hope you appreciate that. This is something different, and I have not seen somebody put to light these issues before. So there you go. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, please leave a dislike. Why not? Leave a comment as well, asking your questions for the future videos. I did see a comment that I want to go and I'll probably make some videos about, because he was asking for boot camp stories, and I think I've got a lot of fun boot camp stories, so these are gonna be funny ones, guys, and I think you'll enjoy that. So be ready for that. Comment down below your questions for the next video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.